And aluminum is one of those products that can be recycled indefinitely, which means it can just keep being recycled and being recycled over and over again. With plastic, it's not quite the same. It can be recycled a few times, but the more it gets recycled, the more it loses its its substance and how well it is formed. So it can only be recycled so many times. But just being recycled, just those few times, helps reduce the impact it has on our environment and on our natural resources. And for instance, with paper, when you recycle paper, it reduces deforestation. And 40% of the energy is saved by recycling paper when a paper product is recycled versus when they have to create new paper. That's still a lot of energy. And half of the amount of water that is used to create paper is needed to create paper from recycled paper. With glass, glass being recycled saves 30% of the energy, and since glass takes 1 million years to break down, the more you recycle that glass, the less that there is in the environment, and the more that is the more energy that is saved, and the less impact it has. So there's also an economic impact to recycling. Companies buy these used goods and recycle them and resell them as new products as the source of all their income. Cities in high populated areas that pay by the ton for their landfill usage can save millions on municipal waste. And economic analysis of this economic impact says that recycling can generate 3 times as much revenue per ton as landfill disposal, and 6 times as many jobs. So there will be more jobs for people due to recycling, and there will be less cost as landfill disposal. Landfill disposal costs more, so there's more economic benefit from recycling. With paper, how it goes through the recycling process, since it accounts for almost 20% of all our household garbage, it's sorted on how the type of paper, how heavy it is, the color, and things like that. And it's just put in a hot chemical and water bath to reduce it to a soupy substance. And then all these magnets and gravity and filters remove the staples and glues and other things that are found on the paper. And the ink is removed by a chemical wash, and the pulp is sprayed and rolled into flat sheets and then cut, and then you have your new recycled paper. With glass, there's virtually no downcycling when glass is recycled, and there are 2 ways to recycle glass. Companies can collect bottles from their customers and thoroughly wash them out and disinfect them and reuse them. The glass can be sorted by color because there's brown, clear, and green glass. And it's ground up into fine particles, sifted, filtered, lasers are used, magnets, sifters, and it's just melted down and reformed. With steel, the U.S. steel, all the steel in the United States contains at least 25% of recycled steel. That's a new law now that all steel must contain at least 25% of recycled steel. So all this scrap steel is melted down and refined into huge sheets and coils. It can be shipped to manufacturers to make bodies of cars or different construction materials. Plastic, it's usually made into a new form when it's recycled, and they have to sort it and filter it and chop it and melt it into pellets and stuff like that. And they can be used for fleece fabrics, construction materials, molded furniture, or insulation. Different recyclable materials include metals, paper and cardboard, glass, plastic, batteries and bulbs, and there's even places where you can go to recycle your old electronics. And that's all I have, and the main message I'm trying to get to you is that recycling does have an impact, and it's good that people know the impact that recycling has. whether or not they choose to recycle. It's just something that should be better known by the population of its impact, what goes down into it, the more detailed process of how an item is recycled and how different items are recycled. Since our non-renewable resources are non-renewable and they will eventually run out, it's important to know that recycling can help that, and that it actually does make an impact, and that more people need to realize that full impact that it does have, because it's a very important part of what the United States does. A lot of countries do not even have recycling programs or recycle materials at all, and the United States does do that. So